Okay, so today is the 15th, 16th. Today's the 16th. Okay. Basically, I want to show two things to my kids who are absent. We learned yesterday, the first thing was that if it was just a whole number, like that 11 right there on number 8, then you can just sling it over a 1. Like, you get to just put a 1 underneath it. Because every fraction is going to need a top and a bottom. No whole numbers, okay? To work with it, like to be able to do the math involved, okay? Michael, come right here, baby. Bring your paper and stuff. This one, like this one, is pretty. It's got just tops and bottoms, as I call it. Numerators, denominators, we're good to go. The key is we're going to do some cross simplifying, and we can't do any of that until we get rid of the whole numbers. Okay, so 5th period yesterday, and in most classes, we made it through about number 4. Here's number 5, kind of worked 2 different ways, meaning I got 9. So is everybody good through about number 5?
Yeah, I got 9.
Okay. Now, here we go. So, we basically figured out that once we have tops and bottoms, we can what's going to be called cross simplify. And this is where I need you guys that weren't here yesterday to listen. Okay. We have been waiting till we get to the answer to do a bunch of simplifying. Well, what it is with multiplying is you work with bigger numbers a lot of times. And you're going to want to try to simplify what I call, this is silly, but it works, in the magic box. And the reason I call it the magic box is you have hit a multiply sign. Next week it might be division. Okay. You've hit a multiply sign and you've only got tops and bottoms. There's no whole numbers. So, when I've hit this point in the math problem, I am allowed to cross reduce or cross simplify. So, I'm looking at this one. What number top and bottom simplify? 4 and 12. Right. They're both divisible by 4. Does everybody agree? So 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 12 3. Okay. Anything else simplify? Nope. So I am good. It is 9 over 14. Okay, and I'm good to go on that one because it doesn't simplify anymore. You always want to ask yourself if it does. Okay. Yes.
I got 1 and 2 seconds.
Go back. What do you have before that?
I divided 9 and 7.
Wait a minute. Are you on the same one?
We're on number 6.
I'm on number 6.
So I marked out 12 and I made it a 6 and then I made it a 3. I marked out 4 and made it a 2 and I made it a 1.
Okay, so first you made it 2 and 6. Then you made it 1 and 3. That's right.
And then I made it 14 and 7.
Can't do that. You can only, and listen, this has been the trick. Like this happened in last class too. You can only do tops and bottoms, but you can't do like 3 at a time. So if you do this top and this bottom, I see what you did. You did this. You had 12/14 times 3/4. And you saw 4 and 12 divided by 2, right? Okay, so 2 into this will be 2. 2 into this will be 6. Okay, then you saw 2 and 6, right? So, 2 into 2 once, 2 into 6, 3. But these don't simplify. And these don't simplify. Okay, like you can't do 2 tops or 2 bottoms. So even if you simplify it this way and go straight across, you're still going to get 3 times 3 is 9. 14 times 1 is 14. Okay, yes?
It can be simplified by 2.
Yes, you can simplify this by 2 and this by 2.
Or this by 2 and this by 2. But you can't do 3 numbers.
I know that. And that's the number.
Which number?
3 times 2 is 9. And 9 divided by 2 is 3.
9 divided by 2 is 4.5. 9 doesn't divide by 2 evenly. 9 is an odd number. Okay? Yes. No, because they're both on top. I know my handwriting doesn't look like it, but they're both 2 tops. Okay? And there's a tricker like tonight, there's 2 5s sitting next to each other, and it looks like they will. But unless they're top and bottoms, you can't do it. Uh-huh.
However, my answer was 2/3.
Go back. I don't like. Okay, so 12 times 3 is 36. That's right. 56. That's right. Then what?
And then I divided it by 9.
Ah, that's what's wrong. 9 didn't go into 56. 9 times 6 is 54. That's why. You could divide by like I would do 2 maybe, and get 18 28ths. Maybe do 2 again, and get 9 14ths. Okay? So as long as you're simplifying correctly, guys, look at this. I just worked it, to be honest, 3 different ways right there. If you ignore that 25 right there. Okay. I worked it 3 different ways and got the same answer. It doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as you're simplifying it all and getting it all cleaned up. Okay? Okay. Let's try the next one. So like number 7 here. What did you simplify on number 7? 15 and 10. You divide by 5. Okay, so like that's a 3.
And then 2.
2. Does anything else simplify?
Yes. 2 and 20. I mean, no, that's the side. No, nothing else.
Nothing else. So you should have 27 over 40. As long as you got 27 40ths, you're good. 20 times 2 is 40. If you did it straight across, then you had 200 on bottom, and on top, 135. Then what'd you simplify by? 5. Okay, so if I divide by 5, top and bottom, please put the water bottles up or whatever it is. 5, we'll go 2, 35 would be 7. 5 into 20 would be 4 and a 0. It doesn't matter which way you do it, guys. We should all end up with 27 40ths. Okay. We good so far? Okay. Josiah, give me number 8. What should I do?
So put a 1 under 11.
You got it?
To make the 11 1. And then you should get 33 fourths.
Yep.
And you can make that 8 and 1/4.
Perfect. You got it. Because 8 times 4 is 32. And then there's 1 left over out of 4s. Good so far? Uh-huh.
I got 7 and 4 fifths.
Do you have the 33 and the 4?
And I divided 1 to 33, and I put 28.
Ah, but listen, 8 is closer. 8 is 32. Okay. Going on to number 9. Here we go. it would be 6/7 times 11 over 1. So, 66 over 7. I'll be honest, 7 times 9 is 63. So there'd be 3 left over out of 7s. Okay. On the next one, you've got 2/5 times 25 once. Doesn't matter how you do it. You could do 50 over 5, but it is 10. Whatever you did, it is 10. Shh, please stop. We're not going to start this. Now, for my friends who weren't here, listen, I'm going to the last one for a reason, because I want to show you something first before the harder one, okay? So, on number 13, we learned yesterday that basically what they're asking us is like, what is a fraction of an amount? So I want you to think about this. What is this of that? And it is always, I need you to get this part, it is always the fraction of an amount. And the amount for this one is the 450. Now, if you think about what we've kind of already done, we keep the 4/5, and the new idea that we learned yesterday is of means multiply. Of means multiply. And then the 450 can be just put over a 1, just like yesterday, like the other problems. Okay. Cross simplify. 5 into 5 once. 5 into 450. 90. Okay. So 4 times 9 is 36 with a 0. So all it is saying is that the width of this thing is 360 miles. 360 is a chunk of 450. 90 is that top number, but you got to still multiply it times the 4. 90 is, like you're simplifying right there is 90. But you still got to multiply times 4. Yes? Oh, you can, yeah. That's fine, or highlight. Yep. Yes.
I got 12.
Go back.
4 times 30.
Did you do 4 times 450? Like, do you have 4/5 times?
I got 90.
That's right.
And then, I divided it by 10.
No, listen. You do simplify by 5s right here. And that gets a 1. And that gets a 90. But the last step is you still got to finish the multiplication. So 4 times 90 and 1 times 1.
What I'm saying is, after I got 90, I divided it by 9.
You can't. Like, nothing else simplifies there. Like, if you're going to divide this by 9, then this or this would have to divide by 9. Right. If you do a top, you have to do a bottom. I'm waiting. Like, I'm not playing, guys. Now, this last one is the true 6th grade material, meaning number 12. I need you to look. Okay. Basically on this one, they say that at the local river there are 48 alligators laying on the riverbank. If 5/6 of the alligators were asleep, how many are not asleep? Now, watch how I lay this out. first, they're talking about the asleep ones. So I want you to think about this. The ones that are asleep are 5/6 of 48 of the total. Does that make sense so far? Okay, so go back to what I said or taught a few minutes ago. 5/6 times 48 over 1. Can we cross simplify? 6 and 48. 6 into 6, 1. 6 into 48, 8. Yep, so 40 over 1, which is 40. Now I need you to think about this. 40 are asleep. How many are not asleep? So the total alligator count is 48. 40 are asleep. How many are not asleep? 8. 8 are not asleep. So basically they're asking you, you can either do it this way, or what they're asking you is what is 1/6 of 48? 1/6 of 48 is 8. Since they said 5/6 are asleep, how many are not asleep? 1/6. Okay, watch out. If it says words like not, they're probably going a little deeper. It's not always like the first answer you get. Okay? Now, I got it. It's okay. Listen, will you click that behind notes and classwork from yesterday? And, guys, your grade book has already started. I'm going to put in homework grades today. Math workshop by Friday, on Friday. Quiz, all that good stuff. So, okay. Now, the cool thing about this is we are only adding officially one different thing, and we will be done with all the new stuff for this week. Okay. How many did you have done? Okay. I have them all. 11. Okay. Now, starting out, I'm going to start out by saying that Sawyer made these notes, and the way that she teaches it, she makes her kids cross-simplify. She makes it, every problem. Well, I've always found that some kids get it and some don't. Okay, so if you don't like cross-simplifying, then you can multiply straight across and simplify your answer. What? Yeah. So, what I'm saying is this. We're going to ignore the 1, 2, and 3 little thing on the top. Here we go. Okay, yes.
It says ABV on the board.
I know. Listen, I'm on this side. Guys, on the back, some of them are labeled advanced. We're doing them all. I don't really care they're labeled advanced. Honestly, some of the regular are easier than the advanced. We're doing them all. Now, you don't know how to do them, so let's flip back over to the side I'm on. Here we go. Now, I need you to get with me, guys. Big time. Okay, now, starting out, look at like number 2. Do you see the 4 7s?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks just like yesterday. Thank goodness, we're just going to leave it 4 7s, okay? If there was a whole number by itself, then we know already we would do what? Put a 1 underneath. So now, the only new thing we got to learn is what to do when we have these ugly mixed numbers. Anytime there is a mixed number, we're going to have to change it to an improper fraction before we can do any math with it. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is, y'all can stop now. You can, what we've got to do is do what I call like a backwards C.
How is that a mixed number?
Because it has a whole number and a fraction.
That's not simplified?
Exactly. You could simplify it to 2/3, but you would still have to do what I'm getting ready to show you. Okay? So, this is the key to this. When you see a mixed number, a whole number and a fraction, you've got to change it to improper by doing what I call a backwards C. You're going to multiply 6 times 2, and I wish for this first one you would write the word multiply right there. So later you can say, oh yeah, that's what she did. Please pick up your pencil and write multiply there, right where I wrote 6 times 2. Draw your little arrow and multiply. So we're going to do 6 times 2 is 12. And then the last part is we're going to add the 4. So 6 times 2 is 12 plus 4, 16. So all it is this is 16, and we keep our bottom number the same. We get to keep the 6 just like it is. These are the same amount. One is just kind of prettier. Okay? To be honest, if you think about this one, this is like 2 pizzas. Well, we can picture 2 whole pizzas. There's 4 left over out of 6. So there's a box with 4 slices out of 6. This thing is like 16 slices laying all over a table and maybe 1 box with 6 in it. But they're just like everywhere. They're not organized, okay? Now, we've just changed this one to this. Does everybody agree? Okay, going across this problem. Dot means multiply. Okay. Now, we got to change this one or clean it up. We're going to do the same thing. 10 times 3, 30 plus 3, 33. Keep the bottom number. 10. Everybody good? Okay, here's the trick. You have now reached what I call, and I know it's silly, the magic box. Because you've reached the part where there's tops and bottoms only and a multiply sign. Okay, so does anything simplify right here?
Yes.
Yes. 16 and 10, right? Or 16 and 6. Uh-huh.
6 and 33.
Or 6 and 33. Josiah, what would 6 and 33 divide by? 3. And this would be a 2. And this would be an 11. Okay? Anything else simplify? 16 and 10, right? By 2. 5. 2 into that. 8. Anything else?
No.
Yes. I'm going to challenge you.
Oh, wait, yes. 2 and 8.
2 and 8. Right. Do as many as you can if you see them. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 8. 4. Now I can multiply straight across. 4 times 11. 1 times 5 is 5.
Wait.
Slow down.
8 and 4/5.
Right, you do have to divide it out. So 5 into 44 will be 8 times, because that's 40. And there would be 4 left over out of 5. Backwards check mark. Natty, yes.
Can you not make the 4 even lower than that? You can make that 1.
Well, we've already got this one a 2. We changed to 1. So we can't change it lower than 1.
You can't make them both the same.
You could if they were the same numbers. Yeah. This is the hard part about this. What I simplify might be a different pattern than you. So if you will wait, kind of like if we're doing homework or whatever, if you will wait till we get to the final answer, then if something's not right, we'll go back and try to figure it out. Okay? Sit up. I'm waiting on you guys again. Here we go. Number 2. So like on number 2, the 4/7 doesn't change. It gets to just stay 4/7. The multiply gets to stay multiply. Some of you haven't written this yet. Okay, the 5 1/8. We got to do the backwards C. 8 times 5 is 40. Plus 1? 41 over 8. Okay, we have reached the magic box. I hope you're already done with this. Maybe is why you're not copying it. 4 and 8. What divides 4 and 8? 4. 4 into 4, 1. 4 into 8, 2. Okay, multiplying, honestly, nothing else works. So, 1 times 41 is 41. 7 times 2, 14.
It would be 2 and 3 and 3.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. 3 is 42.
Yeah, that's sorry.
So it would be 2. So it's going to be 3 and 13 fourteenths. The backwards check mark, dividing it out.
So it is going to be 3?
I mean 2. Gosh, y'all got me confused. 2, I knew the 13, not the 12 or whatever. 2 is 28. There'd be 13 left over out of 14ths. So it's 2. Okay, do you get the simplifying back here? How I did the 4 and the 8 and changed them to 1 and 2. Okay, so then I did 41 fourteenths. Just multiplying straight across. Good with that? Okay, this is the part that's weird, but we did it last week. So think about it. When the top number is bigger than the bottom, all I did was divide it. But these were this one was a big one. So I did 2, and there it is. Backwards check mark. 2 and 13 fourteenths.
Wait, so you do have to do the backwards check mark?
Well, I mean, that's how you get that answer. You don't have to, but I'm just showing her how I got it. Okay, we're good on that one?
Yes.
Okay, so look at the next one. Go ahead and change the 2 mixed numbers to improper. Do it. Do number 3. Do number 3. So start out with, did you make it to these fractions? These original 36/5 times 65/6. Okay, what simplifies here? Okay, so 6 is 1, 6 is 6. Okay, 5 is 1. 5 is 13. Okay. Yes, the bottom is a 1. 6 is 18. Nope, just got to multiply straight across. And it is 78. That's what I'm saying. The only new thing I added today was just changing that mixed number. Okay? To be honest, even when we get to divide next week, we don't divide fractions, we multiply them. So, it's kind of nice. Okay? Now listen, don't let number 4 scare you. To be honest, it's easier than some of the other ones. Okay, change the mixed numbers. Here we go. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3 over 2. Times, if you're not writing this down, I have no clue how you're going to know this later. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 6. I'm just doing the backwards C. Then there's another one. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6 fifths. Okay, kind of weird. Our magic box is still there. Whoops, I kind of made it fat. That's okay. It still has tops and bottoms. Just remember, you can only do one top and one bottom at a time. At a time. Good. Which one we start with? 6 and 3. Okay. He says 6 and 3. So I'm going to do this 6 and that 3. Is that okay? Yeah, I don't want to do that one, right? Okay. So 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 6, 2.
And then you could do 2 and 6.
Ah, does it matter which 2? No, just one of them though, right?
Yeah.
So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 into 6, 3. Anything else?
No.
No. So now I'm going to multiply just straight across. Even though it's 3 numbers, some of them are 1s. 1 times 13 is 13.
39.
Times 3, 39. 2 times 1 is 2. Times 5 is 10. Uh-huh.
So you could have done 6 and 6.
You could have done 6 and 6. It would have been faster.
Mm-hmm. Do you go from top to down to back up to the top? Like, for if you had to do that, like if you had to mark it off, would you go like 3, mark off 1, and then go down to the 6, mark that off, put 2, mark that off, put 1, and then go back up to the 6? Or like, would you have to do a zigzag kind of thing? Or only if it was like...
Like you could just do these 6s and make them 1s and stop. And you'd have 3 times 13 would be 39. And you would have 2 times 5 would be 10. It'd be easier to do the 2 6s, to be honest. As long as you do a top and a bottom, one set at a time, you're good to go.
Why do you skip that 6 and that's 6? Because you said 2 times 5, and you completely skipped. No, never mind. I see it now.
You sure?
Yes,
Okay.
That's a 3 with that bottom 6.
Okay, because I had a 2 and a 6. So I did 2 into 6, 3. And 2 into 2, 1.
Oh, it's on a 6.
It's a 2, yes. Okay. So listen. Flip it over. Start the back. Start with number 1 right now and do it. 1 second, I'm coming. It's okay. Start number 1. Try it. Try it. Start number 1. Do number 2. Then number 3. Keep going. Yes, you're doing the advanced ones, because honestly, the advanced ones are easier than some of the regular ones. Four-fifths times 25/8. 4/5 times 25/8. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 1. I'm going to reteach it better.
My question is, so you can make this 5, but you can also make it 2 and 20/40.
20/40 is simplified, though.
Oh yeah, it does. No.
Did it stop?
No.
That's fine. What? I don't care. It's okay. Listen, I want to talk about number 1 real quick. Yes. No. Number 1. Here we go. You'll make it in just a second. Here we go. So like on number 1, we get to start out by just keeping the 4/5 like that. It's just 4/5. So, I'm going to rewrite it right here, just so there's room. It's fine. You can just sit at my table right there. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to keep the time sign, just the time sign. And I do have to change this. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25 over 8. Now, I'm in the magic box. Can anything simplify top and bottom?
8 and 4.
8 and 4. So, I'm going to start with the 8 and 4. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 8 twice. Does everybody see that? Okay. Okay, calm. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. 5 into 5 once. 5 into 25, 5. Okay. Now, some of you are like, you had stuff like 20 over 40. Listen, you are still good. This is 5 over 2, which is 2 and 1/2. Your 20 over 40 turns into 1/2. So if you got like 2 and 20/40ths or something, you're right. Or 2 and 10/20ths, you're right. You just have to get all the way to that. Okay, yes. Not 5th. Go back a step. What do you have before that? Oh, yeah. Go straight across, straight across. Choir kids, listen real quick. The only new thing we learned is this. We get to keep the 9/10, just like it is, like yesterday. We get to keep the multiply sign. The only new thing we learned is this, that we're going to do this backwards C when we see these mixed numbers. We're going to multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. Please quit packing up or you will be the last to leave. 3 times 3 is 9. And we're going to add in that top number. So, it's going to be a 10 over, and keep the bottom number, 3. So from there, now it is looking like yesterday's. Does that kind of make sense? So now we can cross simplify if you want, or if you like it. And what'd you get for number 2, guys?
3.
Okay. Listen, tomorrow is the next homework grade. Please have it finished. Don't walk in and say you couldn't do it. You can try it. You may go. Even the advanced ones, you'll make it.